Hello YouTube! Today we're going to be going over a hybrid build called 2 Nades from Pandora. Some of you might know this build as Gamebreaker Moze from the Bflattened community. I was part of the team who put the ending touches on that particular build and kind of made my own version of it. This build is inevitably what Bflattened took and adapted to his own playstyle and released as his Nuke version of Gamebreaker. So, getting into it, we do use the Guardian Angel, and because we're going to be using the Nukes and Vanquisher pods, we want to make sure that we have the Vanquisher Rocket Anoint on there. Now, the Vanquisher and the Nukes aren't going to actually work with the Guardian. The Guardian is mainly there for taking advantage of our grenade. So our grenade we are running as when Iron Bear is active, taking damage has a 20% chance to spawn a grenade. So that does affect, or is affected by the Guardian. So that boosts that damage. Just kind of a fun thing to do there. You can run a few different grenades on here. As always, if you're running Moze, a CMT is going to be great. Personally, I just really love the Hex overall, and the radiation from the Hex is really fun. Now, if you want to take advantage of Vault Card 2 and use the Pyro Burst is actually really, really good on this build, and because you are an Iron Bear and you don't take self-damage, you can just take advantage of, basically sit in the middle of a bunch of enemies and just have Pyro Burst going off. Now, if you do decide to do that, I will warn you, the explosions are very vibrant, so if you do get seizures, be very careful doing that. I do keep a Free Radical and a Plasma Coil on, mainly just for either being outside of Iron Bear or for Fight for Your Life. Because I was running this as an in-game rush build, I do have the EMP5 on here for extra speed, and the Snowdrift, of course, is for extra speed. Let's get the correct one set on here. I don't know why I have that one equipped. So actually, we are going to be using the Snowdrift Victory Rush, typically. I was using the Moxies because I was doing some vault card leveling for the new vault card. So, with this, we want to make sure we have Victory Rush, so when we kill a badass, we get extra movement speed and damage. We want to make sure we have Area of Effect damage and Action Skill cooldown rate on there. Those are the two big ones. Movement speed, I just decided that as my third for speed reasons for in-game rush. The third one's not going to be as important. You can kind of finagle your way with whatever you prefer on there. We are taking advantage of the grenades So we are using a Minesweeper, trying to get all of the crits we can, and just proc Minesweeper and just get some of those crazy kills. With some testing here and there, there's a bunch of different things that you can do that work really well. The action skill damage, splash radius, and splash damage is really great, and it does awesome. I just found for end-game rush that I preferred having the cooldown on there, just because whenever you're not an Iron Bear, you do take a little bit less damage output. So I wanted to get that back a little bit faster so that my damage output can be faster and clear everything faster. We're taking advantage of the Plus Ultra with double health rolls so that we can have over 6 million health in Iron Bear. As far as skill layout goes, in Blue Tree, we're taking 5 out of 5 for Fire and Skag's Den. With the Mayhem scaling, it is an insane skill. And of course, just getting as much splash damage out of this as possible is what we want. We take 3 in deadlines so that we can have extra fuel. Basically, because we're using less fuel, we're keeping Iron Bear up longer. 5 out of 5 in Torque Cross promotions, since this build is all about splash damage. 5 in Stainless Steel Bear, so we can get some more fuel, and so we get that extra Iron Bear damage. We do go ahead and pick up Auto Bear, so that when we are outside of Bear, we do have the nukes continuing to go off, and giving us just a little bit more survivability. We take 3 out of 3 in Holy Pen, so that we can get that crit damage going with our grenades, and take advantage of our Minesweeper. You can take out a point here or there. If you want to take out a point in Explosive Punctuation, and go with point in Vampire, or take out 2 points and go point in Vampire and to the last, you're absolutely still a great build way. Personally, I just went without those two because I'm not really out of Iron Bear as often, and when I am out of Iron Bear, I'm trying to get it back as fast as possible, or it's specifically because I'm moving in between areas where Iron Bear doesn't fit. So these two don't really need to be used for survivability or fight for your life very often. Red Tree, we are only picking up Security Bear for our Bubble Shield. Green Tree, we're taking 5 out of 5 in Cloud of Lead. And this is basically just because of the incendiary damage. The not consuming ammo is not something we're going to be worrying about since we are in Bear most of the time. We do pick up Stoke the Embers, again for extra incendiary damage. We pick up Redistribution so that we get a little bit of extra ammo and health whenever we do score a critical hit. We do put 1 into Scrappy instead of Daka Bear. So Scrappy is going to give us a little bit extra weapon damage and handling whenever we are outside of Iron Bear. And the main reason we do that instead of taking that extra damage or extra cub damage with Daka Bear is because whenever you have Daka Bear, there are certain areas that you just can't get through. However, if you don't have Daka Bear skilled, then you can get through those areas. And for EGR, the biggest one there is going to be Shaft. So that door that's to the left of the Shaft's first spawn, you can't fit through there when you have Daka Bear on. So we don't put it in there so that we can get through that area a little bit quicker and take advantage of that. If you want to take out a point here or there and put it into Daka Bear, absolutely your damage is going to go up, and I would definitely suggest that. Because we were using this build specifically for endgame rush, we wanted to make sure that we skipped Daka Bear. Scorching RPMs, we do take 5 out of 5 in, and that's going to increase our fire rate and critical hit damage if we are outside of Iron Bear, and it's going to give us extra hard point damage while we're in Iron Bear. We pick up Specialist Bear since we are using the same 2 slots, just giving us extra damage. Now Purple Tree, we're going to go ahead and cap this one because of all of the extra damages we're going to get. So 5 out of 5 in Biofuel. Biofuel is just an insane ability on Moze. So anytime Iron Bear ignites an enemy, or Moze ignites an enemy, it regenerates health. We pick up 2 out of 3 in Big Surplus, so that when we are out of Iron Bear, we get some extra damage. We take 5 in Really Big Guns, so we get extra Iron Bear damage. 1 Explosive Fury, so that we get extra status effect damage and chance. I am picking up Double Time, specifically because of wanting to go a little bit faster. If you want to take out points in Double Time to do your Daka Bear, or pick up your last point in Big Surplus, do some more in Explosive Fury, that works absolutely great. Or if you switch it up a little bit here or there and use Iron Cub instead of Iron Bear, Iron Cub will still work with the Grenade Annoy, and it still does some crazy damage. We pick up 5 out of 5 in Nitridinian Engines, which is basically just going to give us extra fuel and gives us more cooldown rate. We go 1 out of 5 and Never Going to Give You Up, so that we can get a little bit fuel return whenever we apply a status effect, and that goes along with using our Cloud of Lead, making sure we have our Skagsd in, and those fire damages that are going off is going to really help this skill out. We pick up Feature Creep, so that we can get the extra damage and damage resistance. 1 into Limit Break, so we have a little bit of cooldown whenever we inflict a status effect. We pick up Superior Firepower, because it increases all of the status effects that we were just talking about with Never Going to Give You Up. And of course our last point goes into Running on Fumes, so anytime we do ignite something, we don't consume fuel. That's going to be the skills, guys. So as usual, I always like to point out that I do have full Guardian rank, so if you don't have every point and have all of the skills, you are going to see a damage decrease because of things like Hollow Point and Groundbreaker. Whenever those proc, those do some crazy damage, so you will see a damage difference if you don't have those 2 abilities. If you are on PC and you want to get your hands on this, you can get a link to the Discord in the description box down below, and it will be in the saves file on Discord. With that, guys, I've been your local sassy SwinLaw. Stay classy, Pandora.